Boom, boom, boom. Checkity check, checkity check, checkity check. Boom, 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 boom. Checkity check, checkity check. Check, 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 check. Welcome to the Mukilteo Football Show. My name is Miles.
My name's Kirk.
The Dallas Cowboys hold off the New York Giants 20-15. Trying to find the right.
I guess they won.
Yeah,
Like
the Dallas Cowboys come out the end of that as the winners.
Yeah. Did you really think their defense got any better, or do you just think the Giants just suck?
I know. That's honestly, you summed up the whole. We don't even need to review the game.
Yeah.
The Cowboys won, but are they good? Or are the Giants that bad?
Yeah.
And the Cowboys got all so banged up.
Dude, yeah.
I mean, this is NFC East football. This is vintage NFC East football here.
They went at it. I mean, Giants really wanted to win that game.
At least this game, had some drives. It wasn't like last week's game where, who was it? Patriots?
Patriots, Jets.
Jets.
Just, ugh.
It was so boring. And I honestly think last Thursday, was the first time in history that an NFL regular season game was turned off in favor of MLB regular season game, of a baseball regular season game, because that was the day that Shohei Ohtani
got the 50-50
with a 6-for-6, 10 RBI night.
Yeah.
I don't think a regular season baseball game has ever outshone a regular season football game, but it happened last week.
Like even World Series doesn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like
exactly.
so.
Much less the regular season. But so we needed a big one here, and we really didn't get it. This game,
it was close throughout. Like you kept thinking the Giants might do it, but both of us were like, they're not going to do it.
Yeah, you had no faith. Okay, so Brandon Aubrey misses a 50-yard field goal at the end.
Yeah.
The Giants are down by 5. They have 50 seconds to get a touchdown. We were barely even
watching.
even conversating about we were kind of just talking about what we were going to talk about in terms of the Cowboys winning. That's how little faith Daniel Jones had won us over this game. The eye test tells all. Yeah, he's 29 for 40, 281 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. That looks okay, but this was a tough night for Dingle Jones.
Dingle Jones, man. Old Dingleberry, man. He
Well, I thought we were Dingleberry if he's good.
okay, yeah. Barry if he's good, Dingle if he's bad. Yeah. Okay, all right. Dingle Jones tonight. Like he doesn't pass the eye test. Like sure, stats look okay, but he missed some throws. That first one to Malik Neighbors, wide open. He smokes a guy.
Yeah.
And he still throws it behind him. He's wide open. He still threw it behind him. And all his throws that are deep towards supposed to be towards the sidelines or towards the middle of the field and underthrown.
I thought our underthrown. I thought our theory throughout the game was he's afraid of the sideline.
Yeah.
He's afraid he's going to throw it too far. I don't know what.
Yeah, he's not letting them make sideline catches, trusting his receivers to make toe tappers, which he should, but he doesn't.
And I mean, the game plan, or at least Daniel Jones' decision making, was maddening. No third down can go without a pass to Wan'Dale Robinson short of the stick.
Seriously.
This man is 5'8". He could be tackled by a team of feathers.
Yeah.
If any Cowboy just runs by Wan'Dale Robinson, he's tackled.
Yeah. And he made a couple, early first quarter, he got a couple, but it was,
he's fast.
It was frustrating second half. You're we were calling it. It's
we were
Wan'Dale Robinson short of the sticks, tackled. Yeah. Oh, they're going to run it up the middle on fourth down. Got it.
Yeah. God, listen to this Giants rushing, the box score, 26 rushing yards on 24 attempts. For the New York Giants, because that was 2nd and 10. Before the short of the sticks to Wan'Dale Robinson, they would run the ball for no success with Devin Singletary.
Yeah.
Devin 1 yard Singletary.
And people are going to be like, oh, I guess the Cowboys finally figured it out on defense how to stop the run. And it was just the Giants being running the same play the whole time. They never adapted on the run plays.
And it feels like the Saints destroyed the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Browns destroyed the Cowboys on offense. And we know what the Ravens did last week. Mm-hmm. This was the best that Daniel Jones can do right now.
Yeah.
And it felt to me like you said, the play. We knew the play. They had to baby it up for Daniel Jones against this already bad Cowboys defense that got more and more banged up throughout the night.
Yeah. Parsons, Lawrence, Diggs.
They all left the game. Parsons on a cart, which is very concerning to see with his shoe off. I mean, hey, you never know with anything. I've
but-
been so wrong with, you see an injury and you think it's season ending.
We thought Jordan Love was out for the year, but they're like, he's coming back.
And then other injuries, like guys will look fine, and you hear they tore their ACL and they're done. So you never want to speculate, especially the game just ended 30 minutes ago.
Right.
The point for the game is they were losing stars and they sucked already, and still the Cowboys defense handled this Giants offense.
Yeah, they held on. They didn't, bend but don't break.
Yeah,
and that was it, because Daniel Jones
the whole day
couldn't do it. I mean, they had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and they could not get it done. I thought Dayball called pretty much a perfect game on offense. Like, he had everything. Daniel Jones never really went to a second read, and every time he did, I was like, uh-oh. Like, before he even threw it, like, the second he had to, like, switch off of somebody, I'm like, yep, that's not working.
Yeah, if you just look at this exact game, but put a decent quarterback instead of Daniel Jones, there's so many big plays to be had.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with you on the Dable thing.
Yeah. And it's just disappointing because, they had to go with Daniel Jones for another year. They never should have given him the contract. And hopefully they'll get out of it. But, like, watching this game all the way through, because I hadn't watched them very much besides, like, highlights through the first 3 weeks, seeing a full game of them, I'm like, no wonder I'm not paying attention to this team.
Exactly.
He's just not putting the ball where it's supposed to be. Even wide open guys, he's still kind of missing.
I will say, they definitely can get out of the contract.
Yeah.
Like, it's a 2-year contract this is the second year. I know it says 4-year, but really it's 2 years.
Yeah.
And all the quarterbacks got drafted before the Giants picked, so this was going to be bad anyway.
Oh, yeah, right?
But, oh, man. Just horrible. Shout out to Neighbors, who put up a fight today. He was banged up after his last 4 carries, or catches, I'm sorry. But I thought, as terms of the rookie, like, he looked really good to me, and he has been looking. This was a chance to kind of get a good full picture of him.
Yeah. I thought he was smooth. That drop on the end on the sideline, that was kind of brutal, but it was still well covered. He toe tapped it. It's a tough catch. Yeah. I'm calling it a drop, but it's still
late throw on the sideline.
Yeah.
No receiver has any business making that look like it was potential to catch. And I think he honestly holds on to it if he doesn't. I think he got knocked out.
Yeah.
I think he was unconscious there for a little bit.
And I think he was already hurt before that, too.
He definitely was. That's what I was saying.
So he looks like a superstar to me. I hope he's healthy.
Yeah.
I want to see more of him.
And I want to sing more of that Rolling Stones song, Neighbors. Yeah, we're talking about neighbors. Okay, Cowboys offense looked fine. In comparison, Dak Prescott was great.
They were hardly on the field, really.
I know. It was weird. They scored quick, and the Giants were just struggling down.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb was the best player in this game.
Oh, absolutely.
7 for 98, most of it that 55-yard touchdown.
Yep, it was a peppered lamb first half.
Lamb. That's what you've always said. Just keep peppering.
Just give it to him. Quit throwing it to friggin' Tolbert and Cooks.
I like Tolbert.
You got to mix. Okay, Tolbert kind of impressed me a little more, but Cooks is just stop it with him.
More of like a salted Tolbert to go with your peppered lamb. How about that?
We're creating a meal, yeah. But run game, I don't know. Nothing impressed me. Elliott just seemed like he was hardly on the field. The Dowdle screen pass, which they picked up the flag.
I know.
Jerry Jones paid for another one.
I know. So, the ref crew had a rough game, and I think the Cowboys were committing so many penalties. There were a lot of them.
Seriously,
there.
And that's
a Mike McCarthy football.
All on the head coach.
Yeah.
I was hoping the Cowboys would lose so I could rip on Mike McCarthy more, but he gets the win, so he's going to get a week off of hatred from him.
Yeah.
That seat cools a little bit, but that burner's going to turn back up at some point.
Yeah. The Cowboys are 2-2 for 10 days, but I think we're both building to the same thing. This looks bad. I watched this win and think Cowboys ain't doing nothing this year. If they make the playoffs, I will be surprised.
The team that won tonight was the Commanders.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, out of these two teams, I'm like, Commanders can beat this. Like they look like they look way better than both of these teams.
It's been a good week for Washington D.C. fans,
right? Finally, you deserve it.
First good one of the 21st century, or maybe 2012 with RG3. They had some good ones. But.
Yeah, but it's been a tough go. Yeah. So yeah.
All right, well, let's get to the preview of Week 4. Mm-hmm. Mukilteo Football Show. This show is football, everything, NFL history, legacy, ups and downs of a season. We got shows Monday after Monday Night Football, Sunday after Sunday Night Football, and Thursday after Thursday Night Football. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts. I don't know why I did the days out of order there.
I don't either. We're heading into the fall. So,
Week 4 is coming up. We got a bunch of good games to talk about and pick the results of, but I want to update you first on the race to 100 career touchdowns.
Yeah.
We talked about this in our team previews, that we had 3 active players who are all trying to get to 100 career touchdowns.
It's a huge milestone.
Yeah, no, huge.
Yeah.
It's only, I think, 25 players or 30 players who have done it in history, and they're all the ones you'd expect, all the biggest names.
In history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
So Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, and Derrick Henry. So we started the season, Adams and Evans were tied at 95.
Okay.
Derrick Henry was 2 back at 93. Now, Evans and Henry are tied at 97.
Ooh.
And Adams has only gotten one at 96.
Okay.
So we are now within, like, big explosive game could come.
Could get you that milestone.
Get, of course, Adams got a hamstring now, but like, somebody could come up with this soon here. September, October, November. We're going to see a player score his 100th career touchdown.
Which hasn't happened for a long time, in my opinion.
Yeah. Frank Gore did it in 2020.
Okay.
But I call that the most pathetic 100th touchdown. I did the math on this. I studied on this more than I did the rest of the thing. Frank Gore's 100th touchdown would be the equivalent of Derrick Henry. So Frank Gore played a lot more games to get that 100th touchdown. So if Derrick Henry played the same amount of games to get 100 touchdowns, he would score his 100th touchdown in 2030.
So it's that bad?
Yeah. So
holy smokes.
Same with Adams and Evans.
Yeah.
So they're getting their touchdowns actually in their prime, actually as a result of something good. The last guy to do this was Adrian Peterson.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And that AP, he deserves it.
Yeah, and that was 2016. So it's been 8 years since we had a guy score his 100th touchdown for real.
And we're going to see 3. Well, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
No injuries,
no
nothing
injuries,
like that.
But who do you think's going to get it first?
I mean, it seems like Henry would be the safe bet, but I'm going Mike Evans.
Nice.
Because you were saying exploding game. I've seen Mike Evans score 2 or 3 in a game plenty of times. So
he scored 2 in week 1.
Yeah. So I can see him sneaking up there and pulling it off before Henry. Place your bets now.
Yeah, place your bets now. I think Evans too. Oh,
really? Okay.
Henry's the most common pick, but I think he might decline a little bit here. Like I think we've seen the true pound.
Like he's had 4 already. So
yeah, he's had 4 in 3 games,
which is already impressive. But
the pendulum's going to swing the other way. I think Evans is going to do it. I wish Adams was going to do it, but he's so unhappy there.
Yeah.
Now he's got a hamstring thing. The coach is calling him out, but in a passive aggressive way. Come on, Antonio Pierce.
I know. Just say what you mean.
Yeah, you're the problem, dude.
Seriously.
You aren't a real coach.
I know.
All right.
And they'll figure it out too late.
They will. They will. All right, let's get to these games. We got to kind of blast through them. We got 15 or 16 minutes, probably about 4 minutes a game.
All right, yeah. Like we'll make that happen.
Like we've ever.
We're already wasting time.
Just by doing this shows you how bad we are at doing that. All right. New Orleans Saints traveling to the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are favored by 2.5. Both starting centers are on IR. And it's Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins. Don't bet on this game.
I know, seriously.
boy, are those some factors.
And it's Falcons Saints. Both these franchises hate each other for a long time. Like this is one of the most underrated rivalries of NFL history here.
And this feels like a game back to the rivalry, kind of brings up like a little junior feeling of Breeze and Matt Ryan sort of.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah. It sucks that both the centers are down. Mm-hmm. I'm glad the Saints offense finally got shut down.
Yeah, 12 points in week 3 against the Eagles.
And nobody's talking about them having 103 points in 2 weeks or 3 weeks now. Why isn't anybody saying that?
I really bought into the Saints.
That stat bugs me so much. But Saints, I mean, you never know what you're going to get with them. That's the problem with the Saints. They're so incredibly inconsistent. Like Falcons, pretty much they've shown me what they've shown me.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with that. Saints, I don't know. If Kamara's not running the ball well and it's all up to Derek Carr, I'm nervous.
At the risk of overreacting to my overreaction last week where I said the Saints were going to be good.
Yeah.
I jokingly called them the greatest show on turf. That wasn't a real comment, but it was not. Week 3 was not only bad for the Saints hype in terms of the fact that they only scored 12 points against the Eagles. They also, we watched their first opponent, the Panthers, suddenly become good with Andy Dalton, revealing how bad Bryce Young was. Thank goodness the Saints got to play Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Then we watched the Ravens running all over the Cowboys, revealing that it wasn't just the Saints run game.
That's
that
the Cowboys being a bad defense.
Cowboys just shut down Devin Singletary. But then again, Daniel Jones had 281 yards and he sucks. So, I just feel like everything showed us that the Saints beginning was a fluke. And I don't think the Falcons have been playing that bad of football. They're 1-2, but
they played some good teams.
And we've got to watch them. I feel more comfortable with them. I watched the whole game against the Eagles, watched the whole game against the Chiefs. I feel like they could have taken the game against the Chiefs. They were there at least.
Yeah. And, they lost week 1 to the Steelers. And that was Kirk Cousins' first game. He wasn't moving very well. But, So, the 3 opponents they've played are somebody. Mm-hmm. The 3 opponents that the Saints have played, I'm kind of like, Eagles are a good team, but they turned the ball over the whole time. Blocked punt. You put up more than 12 points. Like, Saints didn't prove anything to me.
Yeah.
But don't bet on this game.
Yeah,
seriously, just don't even look at it.
You're picking the Falcons in terms of...
I generally go with the Kirk Cousins. I like the Falcons. Bijan hasn't had a breakout game yet. And then the Saints D did really good last week, which makes me think they'll do terrible this week for some reason. I don't know why.
They've been good all 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We knew they were going to have a decent defense.
Yeah, but I don't know. Something just in my wormy little brain thinks that, the Falcons are going to actually show us some upbeat offense, get things going down the field, and just they're like, oh, this is the team we expected when Kirk Cousins got signed in free agency. I'm waiting for that team to show up. They got to show some sort of flash with that.
I can hear the announcers now. In the wormy little brains of the fans, the Falcons, 35 points. Right. I'm taking the Falcons as well.
Okay.
Let me tell you a fun mathematical fact about this game. The all-time rivalry. It's 55-55 right now.
Whoa.
So this
is
a tilting point.
This is the tiebreaker till next game.
They got one more game.
Right.
They'll probably split the series.
Right.
All right, we both pick Falcons.
Falcons, yeah.
Yeah, let's go to another divisional game. Minnesota at Green Bay. Same line, basically. The home team is favored by 2.5, which I feel like is just the home field. So both these games are kind of pick-ems here.
Yeah.
Green Bay is hosting the new hype team.
Oh man, yeah.
And Minnesota Vikings. I've seen them in the top 5 of power rankings, and I feel like we should just have a segment here, Kirk. It's do you know the Flaming Lips song Yoshime battles the robots? Oh, Yoshime. They don't believe.
Okay, yeah.
Wouldn't let those robots eat me. Well, this is Kirk battles the hype machine.
Yeah.
Because you battled the Saints last week and now the Vikings.
Seriously, if the media likes you, you're doomed. I don't know what it is. And it goes the opposite way. If the media starts to hate you, you start doing great. That's just kind of my thing now. That Vikings, dude, okay, yeah, Sam Darnold threw 4 touchdowns, but I've seen him make some pretty boneheaded plays that he's gotten lucky with as well.
Okay.
So, really, they beat good teams, but I think this is more because of their defense, and I'm glad Brian Flores is starting to get it some credit. People are actually looking at this team, but I'm waiting for that Sam Darnold game.
Yeah.
Is the Vikings defense going to be able to hold while he struggles? Because he's dealing with a knee bruise right now.
Yeah, it looked bad.
Jefferson kind of got banged up a little bit, and he's super hyped. Everyone's like, oh, Sam Darnold for MVP. And I'm like, oh, dude.
Sam Darnold currently has MVP odds.
Yeah.
There are MVP odds for Sam Darnold.
And I'm like, Green Bay's got a good defense, man. So I'm worried about Sam Darnold right now. I'm not worried about the Vikings defense because I think that's been, honestly, their better part. Mm-hmm. That defense has been better than their offense. But Sam Darnold's getting all the credit, and they're starting to give it a little bit to Brian Flores now. But, I'm still I'm terrified of this offense. I'm waiting for Sam Darnold to have a Sam Darnold game.
Yeah. Well, I think because of the Sam Darnold of it all, the hype has been a little more reserved
because it's him. Yeah.
So to your point, the media hasn't completely oversaturated the Vikings. We've seen this before. We've seen a good 2 to 3 games from Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Like 3 different times, twice with the Jets and once with the Panthers when they were 3-0.
Yeah. Right.
But it hasn't looked this good.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is the total team. Like, I think the Vikings are actually something good here.
Yeah.
I like Brian Flores. I don't understand what he's doing. I watched like an ESPN thing where like they had like 8 former players on there and they wanted to get into the X's and O's and explain what Brian Flores' defense. They could not do it.
Yeah.
I watched it. I know. I've been watching football for 30 years. They were just talking gibberish, man.
Yeah.
They basically concluded that it was like a fake out too high system, like what you would call too high safeties was not always a safety.
Yeah, dropping corners and
somebody's back there. Two
Yeah.
guys are back there, and it's how many different ways can they trick the quarterback into thinking it's not too high, but it always is too high.
Yeah,
and they also said like he rushes 6 more than anyone in the league, at least last year.
Yeah,
and rushes 3 more than anyone in the league. So the extremes.
Yeah.
So we got some wild blender shit happening from Brian Flores.
Yeah. And it's very hard to read pre-snap, which is the biggest thing.
Yeah. So you're perfectly situated for a guy like Sam Darnold. I mean, I don't know that this is going to work against Joe Burrow or Pat Mahomes, but I think it will work against a quarterback who can't make decisions on the fly.
Yeah.
This is probably crush Jared Goff.
Yeah, but I mean, they made C.J. Stroud confused as hell. I mean, honestly,
Stroud's,
Brock Purdy did the best against it.
Yeah, he didn't even do that great.
No,
that score was better than the game looked
exactly
in week 2.
Yeah,
so it feels like we're leaning Vikings, but can we talk about the Packers here a little bit? This is a good game.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Packers defense just as much as I like the Vikings defense right now. I mean, Xavier McKinney, great ad. That safety's got 3 picks already in 3 games, and like all different games, not just like a one game. He's just crushing one quarterback. Like, he's looking good. He's the reason. The defense is the reason Malik Willis has gotten so many opportunities to score.
Yeah.
And if this is Malik Willis against Brian Flores, like, I don't know, man.
It says Jordan Love remains limited.
He's been that since week 2. Like, they keep saying the same thing, so we're never going to know.
I mean, I think they have to do this. And I mocked this in week 2, but now it's like working, so I'm going to go ahead and just admit. But they have to say that Jordan Love might play so that the other team at least has to somewhat prepare for a passing game.
Yeah.
It's different than just like the difference between Pat Mahomes and Chad Henne or something like that. This is literally like, you don't want the team to know that you don't have a passing game and that Malik Willis is for sure starting.
Yeah.
Now, they have been great. Like, the run game has been dominant.
Yes.
And Malik Willis is a big part of that.
Oh, yeah.
And the passing game that they've kind of formulated off of it is successful. They're 2-0 with Malik Willis. I mean, Matt LaFleur is cooking.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
He's a great coach. He's a quarterback coach. He's got a system. He can plug somebody in and get it done. And I love that about him.
I love the little side narrative here that's happening, which is that as Matt LaFleur racks up wins with Malik Willis, we start to think differently about Aaron Rodgers' MVPs in 2020 and 2021. Like, say Matt LaFleur wins a Super Bowl or 2, we're going to really look differently back at those Rodgers MVPs as not just a late career resurgence by an old master, but a failing quarterback. 2017, 2018, 2019, Rodgers sucked.
Yeah.
And he was just like throwing the ball away all the time to avoid getting any interceptions on his stats, and he was saved by Matt LaFleur. That narrative continues to build with every Malik Willis win.
I'm buying into that, but I'm not buying into the if Love comes back, just keep playing Willis thing. Like, I've heard that a few times. I'm like, what are you people talking about? Yeah,
no.
Reminds me of the Cooper Rush, Dak Prescott thing.
Oh yeah, that's just absolute garbage.
Just overreactors. Teenage boys overreacting to things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, we've praised both teams here. Who we picking?
I expect a low-scoring game. That's, I think, number 1. And I think Vikings got the hype train. I'm against the hype train. But then the Packers got the hype train. God, this is a coin flip. Oh, man.
This is your criteria.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to give Sam Darnold one more.
Why don't you...
Going to give him
Okay.
another win, 4-0, get the massive hype going.
Why don't you post a poll, everyone, who do you like more, and then just pick the other team?
That's pretty much that's kind of how I do it.
I'm going Packers.
You're going
this
Packers?
Is a Matt LaFleur game. This is a Brian Flores, it put Darnold in a blender game.
Okay.
I'm going that. All right.
I like that. Yeah.
Sunday Night Football, great game. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens. The home team is favored by 2.5. That's 3 in a row for us.
Wow,
here.
no kidding. Jeez.
So we got these are good games. I'm excited. I'm still worried about the Ravens.
Yeah.
I don't care that they beat the Cowboys. 28-25 didn't look that impressive to me because last thing I saw was them blowing 19 points to the Cowboys.
I think there is the defensive worry, them collapsing at the end, like not being able to finish games. Mm-hmm. To me, a little eye test wise, Lamar Jackson hasn't been very accurate.
Yeah.
He's missed people, like wide open people. Like I remember week 1 when he whiffed Zay Flowers in the back of the end zone, but he's done that a few more times. It's not on your highlights because obviously they're bad throws.
Yeah.
But he's missed some passes where I'm just like, dude, is Lamar like, what's going on, man?
It feels shaky when we were all expecting second year in the Todd Monken offense to be better.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel better.
I mean, there's a reason they only threw the ball 15 times last week.
Well, the run was really working too.
The run was working, but I'm like, I'm not trusting Lamar Jackson too much to just like finish up a game with his arm, throw a bunch of 5-yard checkdowns or something. Like he doesn't seem to be doing that. And if it's not Zay Flowers, I don't trust Mark Andrews.
He's not looking great.
Likely had a great first week, but Bateman's never really flourished. Nelson Aguilar, get out of here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
can they compete in a shootout with Josh Allen? I don't know.
There's still massive concerns with the Ravens.
I will say I was surprised to see the Ravens are favorites.
Yeah, me too, actually.
I mean, with the way Buffalo had dominated the Jaguars on Monday Night Football, like we really haven't had a big-time quarterback blowout, like a star making, like he's the MVP favorite now. We haven't had that this year, except for that one. Yeah. Josh Allen over the Jaguars is paving over him.
Why is he not getting more love right now? We're talking Sam Darnold MVP. Josh Allen's been crushing it.
Well, he is the favorite. He's definitely favored over Sam Darnold.
Okay, yeah, I mean, but like we should be like just praising this guy every week. Like they are the best team in football right now.
I think it's just
on anything I've watched.
Yeah, it's just boredom. You talk about Josh Allen every September.
They murdered the Dolphins. They absolutely crushed the Jaguars Monday night. That game was over in the first quarter.
And I love what they're doing too. They're like Josh Allen had his quote about, well, he says it's not about Stephon Diggs, but he said it's a fun and wonderful thing when you got a bunch of guys that don't care about the stats. They don't care about the touchdowns.
That does sound like a shot.
Yeah, he says it's not about Diggs, but like that obviously is about Diggs.
Yeah,
because Diggs very much cares about that.
No, it was
you
Gabe
could win
Davis.
the Super Bowl and if Diggs doesn't score a touchdown, he's pissed, right? So
right.
But I like this like new like the Borg. The Bills are the Borg right now.
Yeah.
They assimilate.
Yep.
You know, he's throwing to Shakir. He's throwing to Samuel. He's throwing to Coleman. He's throwing to
Kincaid.
Yeah,
he's still got Knox. You know,
like,
he's all over the place. And then Cook.
Yeah,
Cook, most underrated running back in the league right now.
Yeah, James Cook's awesome.
This guy's fantastic. Yeah. Like we should be talking about him being top 5 running back right now.
We should.
Like he is great.
I definitely put him up there right now.
Yeah,
and it's the lines. The lines are doing good. Buffalo's coming in hot. I mean, I'm absolutely picking Buffalo in this game.
Yeah,
it sounds like we're on the same boat.
I'm right there with you, which gives me concern because I've seen Buffalo be like, we're crushing it now, and we just put up a dud.
Yeah.
But the way they're playing, I just can't predict that. I'm just like, dude, Josh Allen looks fantastic. He can hit anybody, focus on anybody, and James Cook really hasn't had a heavy workload at any point this year. So I'm waiting for him. Like, if they need him, they can pound the ball to him.
Yeah, I just don't think – I feel like people are saying, oh, they lost to the Chiefs by a toe, and they beat the Cowboys. I don't think the Chiefs played well, and I don't think the Cowboys played well. So I don't put as much stock into that. I will tell you what I am looking. Well, this is Sunday Night Football. This is must-see TV.
Oh yeah,
because Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen have the dark angels on their shoulders as well. The evil little devil on the side. They could do anything at any time.
Oh,
Either
yeah.
these guys, the big lights are on. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Will they stay within the structure, or will they go wild? And I don't know.
There's always that
Is
moment.
it good?
Will they do too much?
Yeah.
And there's just either it's a glorious play or just the worst decision and turnover that you have seen. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Where would that come from?
It doesn't get better than Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen Sunday Night Football. I'm just pumped about
They
that.
both got like a 2% of like Will Levis in them.
Yeah, exactly. Will Levis has too much, but they've got the right amount.
the right amount of crazy.
Yeah. All right, let's talk Monday Night Football. Seahawks-Lions. I always say this podcast doesn't talk enough about the Seahawks, probably because we cannot be rational about it.
I know. We're such homers.
We're such homers. I mean, you picked them to win the division, but then backed out on it.
Which I probably shouldn't have now.
Shouldn't have. You can erase that if I can erase my Jaguars over Texans. When I picked the Texans, then backed out on that.
When we do our mid-season, we'll
Let's go to our revert to what we originally
we
said.
still got October. Let's just remember it's been 3 games. There are 14 more to play.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, Seahawks-Lions, awesome game. And the story behind, you want to go Lions versus Seahawks? Seahawks to me is just a classic case of who you played. That's like the 3-0 team, and you're just like, dude, sure, you beat the Bo Nix and you beat Jacoby Brissett and you beat Skylar Thompson, who got hurt in the game. Like, who you beat? And one of those games is an overtime game. So
we do not know if our defense is good, is what I'm hearing.
We have not played a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, maybe our defense is good. Mike McDonald, riling it up. And I'm like, yeah, now we actually have a system that we're going to play.
Pretend this is opening day, basically. This is exactly what I was going to say.
We got handed 3. That's awesome. Yeah. That's great. In September, basically, you want to get 2 wins and be healthy. That's all you want in September. So we got 3. We're better than we thought we would be. But yeah, I mean, Geno looks pretty good. The offense, to me, I was a little worried having the new coordinator coming straight from college and not having much NFL in him.
Yeah.
We've looked like we're spreading the ball around well. Tyler Lockett still looks like he's young. We still haven't used Jackson Smith and Jigba as much as we can.
Yeah, he can get in there.
And, Charbonnet's done a great job filling in for Walker. I mean, he looks okay to me. Like that week against the Patriots, like, oh, he can't run up in the middle in the tackles. He looked fine against the Dolphins.
Yeah, and nobody hurt on those sides. Yeah, but I don't know. The backup quarterback thing, or just the below tier quarterbacks that we have been playing, can also spread to the offense. Just getting more chances and stuff like that. I really do. I feel like I don't know what the Seahawks are. Lions are favored by 3.5. The over under is only 47.
Man, these are usually like the last matchup, 2 years.
Yeah. So 2022, this was a 93-point game, 48-45.
Whew.
And that was also week 4. Yeah. And then last year we had a rematch, which was 37-31. Seahawks won that one in overtime. So that's a 68-point game.
Yeah.
Bet the over on this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think Goff and Geno are they're like 2016 brothers. So remember in 2016 when no one would have ever thought in 1,000 years that in 2024 we'd be talking about Jared Goff and Geno Smith
right
in a shootout,
especially Geno.
Man, I'm
it's a tough game to pick because the Lions haven't looked like really, really good to me. They've had just like these stretches of like last week they didn't score in the second half.
Yeah.
That hook and ladder play was awesome, probably best play of the season.
Yeah, that was cool. You're going to start to see more of those, I say.
Yeah, but they haven't looked great to me, which worries me that they're going to just come out and thump us. Like they're just going to come out and just drill the Seahawks into the dirt.
Yeah, and they've looked really good in parts. In big time moments. Thinking of the overtime drive against the Rams. Yeah. I'm taking the Lions. I feel like we should just erase 3-0. It means nothing right now.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I'm going Hawks.
Oh,
I think we overrated the Saints week 2. We overrate the Vikings week 3. Seahawks week 4.
Okay, we're gonna have the 4-0 Seahawks.
The 4-0 Seahawks, and everybody like, maybe they are good. They beat the Lions, right? I could just hear that narrative going next week. We're like, maybe we just haven't been looking at Seattle enough. Yeah. And I like the way we play the Lions. We seem to know something about Campbell and the way they play.
That's true. So, we definitely have their we got Aaron Glenn's number.
Yeah.
The amount of points we've scored.
So, I mean, I can see us, this is a big game for us.
Yeah.
Like, we're underdogs and we're 3-0. I mean, it just seems like we can put up a game. We really can.
Well, I love the idea of the narrative.
I'm just going by hype train. Yeah. That's just my thing.
That is regular season NFL football. Is just week to week narratives. Everyone's just talking out their butts.
Right.
It's part of the fun. No one remembers what we thought week 4 last year.
I know, right?
It's amazing. No one remembers, but it's fun.
But it is fun. Yeah. Fun. I mean, you have to react. It's all we got.
Yeah. It's all we have.
But for all you people out there saying this team is only giving up 10 points a game and, giving these total team stat things.
They're the best rushing defense in the league.
Yeah. After 3 weeks, it does not matter. Quit it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's so stupid.
You're talking about who they played.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, they had a stat. This was a couple years ago, but it was week 3 and Travis Kelce was in absolute prime. And they were talking about the Bills, and the Bills have been giving up a lot of points to the tight end position. It's they played 2 games, and one of them was against Travis Kelce. Yeah. It's that. If every other team hasn't played Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
So you cannot compare these things. It just drove me nuts.
That's the problem with the analytics. It's gone too far.
The analytics needs a point of standard deviation. You know this. You're a math guy. You need enough data. And football never has enough data.
That is true. And, the data is analyzed as good as the human meat bags that analyze it.
Well, no, my saying is the data is only good as the human meat bags who have to interpret that data into an action on the field. And that's just some mama's boy nepotism hire on the house. He's the one with a big old beer belly and a AT&T headset on who is the one interpreting that data into what to do. That part is not analytics.
That a meat bag.
All right. We'll be back to talk week 5 or week 4 when it's over. Week 5 to come. My name is Miles.
I'm Kirk.
Goodbye.